Welcome to the Underground, the Steel City Underground, the black and gold standard for Pittsburgh Steelers coverage. Now, here's your host, Terry Fletcher.
Hello everyone, hope you're having a great day. My name is Terry Fletcher. You probably know me from the WTF segments of Steel City Underground during regular season. I'm also the person who does the live tweeting from the SCU Twitter site. So during the games, so you know who I am. Lately, I've had a couple of intermittent podcasts with Joe Kuzma, our fearless leader. And so, but in the off season, you don't really hear much from me. You hear a little bit. You mostly hear from Brian and from Joe. But I heard Joe's last podcast, and he was all about Pittsburgh and how you go to the games, find tickets. What it takes to actually get into the games, all the, different walking, the tailgating and everything. And it got me thinking, since I'm in Southern California, that we have so many Steeler fans that are not in Pittsburgh or not even in Pennsylvania area, but around the country. I travel for my job. And so when I travel, every time I go into the hotel bar area, or even just, if we're seriously just walking down the street, I see so many Steeler hats and Steeler shirts, and I'm in airports and people have, Steeler t-shirts on, and they give me a nod, or I look at them and give them a nod, and or we'll be sitting there waiting for our planes, and I'll see somebody with a Steeler shirt on, and I have a purse actually as well, and I've got some Steeler earrings and things, and they're like, oh, who's your favorite player? And that it's always a conversation. So there's always a conversation, doesn't matter where you are in the country. And one of the things that I find very comforting actually is in September, I go to Hawaii for a week for work. So I'm asked to speak at a conference for what I do as far as an educator in the medical field. And it's kind of funny because we stay at the Four Seasons. Yes, it's a really ritzy, nice hotel, but luckily it's a work trip, so they pay for it. But it's funny on Oahu. On that island, we run into so many Steeler fans, and that used to be what they called the Marriott in Ko'olina, right next now to a Disney Hotel, Aulani, and that's where they used to have the Pro Bowl, and that's when the players actually wanted to go to the Pro Bowl, when it was in Arizona or Florida. But it's funny because they still flock back there, and we see so many Steeler fans there, and it doesn't matter where I am in the country. So what I'm going to do is I was actually talking to Joe about this and asked him if he thought it would be kind of a cool off-season series until we get into preseason, where everybody's going to be all worried about their fantasy teams. I know I run two of them, and then they'll kind of get interested in now the players and getting into the season, and if Le'Veon Bell's actually going to sign, when he's going to sign, what's going to happen. Hopefully that gets cleared up soon. But I wanted to do a series on out-of-state Steeler fans and really where you can go, what's there for you. A lot of it's going to be by TV, obviously, but there's also ways to get to games when they're playing the Chargers or, when they're playing different teams that are in Southern California. So I'm going to start that first, and then I will move to, I think next one might be Texas. And I got a shout out from a fan on my Twitter handle. And if you don't know what that is, it's Terry and SoCalIF, CALIF. But I got a shout from somebody in Australia, and I have relatives in South Australia, and he was from Adelaide. And so it was just so great to see that, we have such a far reach. One of the other writers and guys out there, Colin, he basically is in England, and he does another, I don't want to call it a blog. It actually is a Steeler page, and he does a good job with that. But he's also not in this country either. So we're going to start in the States and just different areas and different places where we have some fans. And, what I really would like to see is if you go to the Steel City Underground website, please make sure that, steelcityunderground.com, go there and give us your feedback. We want to hear from you, and let us know what state you're from and where the Steeler bars are. And what I'm looking for is costs of food, costs of alcohol and beer pitchers, and how many people usually show up, and do they actually have it on TV, or is it just one small television? And what is the plan? How's the parking? And let us know, and we'll shout you out and put you give your information on air, and I'll do a little bit more research. I love TripAdvisor and Yelp and all those different sites, plus my own experience because I travel and what bars I've gone to, the Twitter people I've met. And I really try to meet as many people as I can. If you're on Twitter and give me a shout out, I'm traveling to your state. Love to meet up with you. I met several people, and I shout out to Tammy in Houston, and her and I talk Steelers, and then of course Girl Talk as well. So just kind of fun stuff. And I actually don't think there's as many people really understand how women are so involved in, football. And I think it's an untapped market. I think I see a lot of things out there. I know that there's a couple of celebrities that they have a couple of things for women. And I know that if you go on, the Steelers City site, or I'm sorry, the Steelers site website for merchandise, you're going to get women's stuff, but really a lot of it's unisex. They're just not tapping into a market that I truly believe is really out there for us to embrace. So that's what I'm going to do with this series. And today we're going to start with a Southern California area and what is out here in Southern California. So where I live I am actually in what they call South Orange County. And so when you think of Southern California, everybody thinks of Los Angeles, but there's Los Angeles, there's San Diego, there's where Disneyland is, which is Anaheim area. There's South Orange County is in between Anaheim which is North Orange County, and San Diego. So I'm kind of in between that. I'm about an hour and a half on a good day of traffic north of actually the Mexican border. I'm an hour and a half also north of San Diego, but I'm also from LAX airport. I'm at least an hour and 45 minutes. And actually on good traffic, the way I drive, maybe an hour. But our airport here is called John Wayne Airport, which is 20 minutes from where I live. I live in a town called Laguna Niguel, and it's very next to Laguna Beach, but it's beautiful and very suburban, but we have a lot of great restaurants and great people and just a lot of Steeler fans. So a very fun place in Southern California to live, South Orange County. And so I'm going to go kind of all around that area. So I'm going to look at Laguna Hills, Mission Viejo, Newport Beach. I'm sure some of you have heard that. If you've ever looked on TV or you've ever watched some of those reality shows, my guilty pleasure is The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. They are very much into putting things out there as far as the area that I live in. I know one of the other reality shows on HGTV is called, what is that one with Flipper Flop? That's the couple that, Flipper Flop sells houses, and they're always talking about Orange County. They're a little north of where I'm talking about, but that you get the general idea there. And so what we're going to look at is, where do you go when you are in Orange County, California, or South Orange County, or somewhere in the Southern California, south of Los Angeles area? Where do you go to watch football? Where do you go to watch a Steelers game with Steeler fans, the jerseys, the food, at a reasonable price? Because I know a lot of people think when you come to Southern California or anywhere in California that you really are going to pay an arm and a leg for everything. And that's not necessarily true. Now, it's all relative based on, what you're seeing. And I have to tell you, when I do travel, I get to Pittsburgh a couple times a year. I get surprised when I go to my hotel and I get a couple bottled waters from the hotel front desk, and they tell me, okay, that's $1.50 each. And I'm like, really? That's all? And, I go to somewhere, let's say in Houston, or I go somewhere in Chicago. Chicago's the worst. Like, okay, that'll be $7 each for a bottle of water. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So, but here you're kind of not the extreme. You're kind of in the middle of either of those. And so one area next to my house, there's a place called Players Sports Bar and Grill. And that's in Laguna Hills. It's on Ridge Route Drive and Road. And it's very easy on and off the exit. If you're coming down the 5 freeway, you're going to get off on a street called Lake Forest, and you're going to turn right, and then you're going to turn left on what they call Moulton Parkway. And it's just, they also call it Irvine Center Drive. If you turn right, you're going on Irvine Center Drive, but you want to go on Moulton Parkway, turn left, and go about a couple of miles, and it'll be up on your right, and you'll start to see a sign for Department of Motor Vehicles. And I know that's not positive, but it's a small Department of Motor Vehicles. It's actually in the same parking lot. And so you definitely don't want to go to this parking lot during the week, but they're they're not open on weekends. So then we get all of their parking. But it's called the Players Sports Bar and Grill, and they have, and this might interest you guys out there, actually the women too. We want to give equal protection under the law here. $13, 64 ounces pitchers of Budweiser, Bud Light or Budweiser, and that's great. That's a great price. Most places have the 40-ounce soda pitchers for $16 to $18 of beer, so that's a really good price. It is very much a Steelers bar. They've got several, we call them surround TVs everywhere. One very big screen TV in the center, and then surround TVs. And their bar seating, they've got, the bars where you have the tall chairs around the bar area. Then they've got things where it's kind of like sitting up against two posts with kind of very thin, like a bar in the center, and you've probably seen that before. And it comes with like bar stools there. And then they have booths that the tables move all around the perimeter. So there's plenty of seating. They also have a karaoke night and things like that on different nights. But it's a great place, and you will find so many Steeler fans there. They do a really nice kind of, breakfast foods in the morning on Sunday. They open pretty early, but there is a line, so make sure you get there because, as we know, when in any kind of bar, people are going to park. They're going to park for 3 hours and then just kind of sit there. And they allow you to do it. We're good tippers, so they let you do it. The best thing to get off the menu would be the Santa Fe chicken sandwich with jalapenos, in my opinion. I think it's great. They also have Buzz Time trivia games. So if you're interested in doing trivia with people who are playing there or people who are playing in other restaurants and bars around the city, they have that on the kind of, the electronic devices there. Now, service is okay. I mean, when they get busy, it's about a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10, but it's okay. It's not bad. The food is better than what they're saying, but the parking is great, and it's really just a really cool place. They've also got some outdoor seating, but very much Steelers bar, Steelers area, Steelers people, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So that's Players Sports Bar and Grill, and I'm giving you the street name and then the name of it and then the city. It's on Ridge Route in Laguna Hills. So you can actually go to your TripAdvisors and your Yelp. I like Yelp because it also shows photos and pull things up. And now Yelp allows you to do videos, so you'll see those on there. And then another one, and this one is in Mission Viejo. And this is called Antonucci's Italian Restaurant, and it's on Alicia Parkway. And so if you're coming again south on the 5 freeway, let's say you came into Los Angeles, or you came into John Wayne Airport and you're coming south. North if you're coming from San Diego, depends on where you're coming from. Then you would want to get off on Alicia Parkway. If you're coming south, you're going to turn left. If you're coming north, you're going to turn right. And then it's going to be right. You're going to make a right turn on a street called Muirlands, and it's right there. It's right on the corner. You could see it from the street. And it's actually the address is Alicia Parkway. But again, Antonucci's Italian Bar and Grill, and it's an upscale Italian restaurant. But the bar area has been turned into a major Steelers hangout. And the owner, who is a very Italian guy, just a real nice guy, he is very, very much a Steelers fan. They have great food, great pizza, full bar. And then the other side is kind of white tablecloth, Italian restaurant. So depends what you want to go there for. During the week, they're open 4 to 10, but on Sundays, 11:30 to 9, and they cater to the Steeler fans. Actually, we were there one time, and I have to tell you, this is funny because my husband is a diehard Steeler fan, but he's not a fun diehard Steeler fan. And for somebody who I've been a Steeler fan since I've been married to him, and since we've been together, and that's been 21 years and just about 19 years married. But what's interesting, because I've been not just a Steeler fan, but I was a Kansas City fan, still am, which I know is tough since we're both AFC teams. But he pouts, and I told him I was going to say that on air, so he knows that. But Tom gets upset when his team is not playing well, and he will stomp around the house. He gets upset. But the one thing, because I'm not happy when they don't play well. I'll yell at the TV and scream, and you can hear me. Mostly when the refs try to take the game away from us. Let's face it, we know what's going on there. But what he doesn't like is he doesn't like to be bugged while he's watching it. Now, since I'm also live tweeting the game, I don't necessarily always get to these bars. Once in a while, I get there and I'll take my daughter or I'll grab a friend, because all my friends, well, they have to like football. If you don't like football, then you can't be friends with me. But it's interesting because he just doesn't want to be talked to during the game. It's like he's watching a movie in a theater and you can't talk to him. I will start saying something to him about something at home or something that's going on, and he'll be like, with one eye on the TV, didn't hear a word I say, but he'll respond and I'll be like, yeah, okay. At this point, I should ask for anything I want and maybe he'll just say, okay. But it's just kind of funny because these places, you have to really embrace yourself into. I love having fans around, especially because we all think the same thing. We're like, hey, ref, what are you thinking? Of course, Antonio Brown caught that. He's the number 2 player on the NFL 100 list. See how I did that plug? But you know, you sit there and you look at these things and you're just like, what are you talking about? That is not a PI call. Well, unless it's on our side, but just some things you want to hear. Everybody screaming, everybody having a good time, and Antonucci's is definitely one of those places. So you really want to take advantage of that. Another place which I actually really like, and this is one that we actually go here often. This is also in Mission Viejo, but it's not far. It's not too far from my house, just on the other side of the freeway. Also, you would get off on this one on Alicia, but just go a little bit further off the 5. And this one, they actually say it's on a street called Via Linda, because as you're going down Alicia, you're passing Antonucci's on the right, and you just keep going down, and then you'll see a street called Via Fabricante, pass it, and then you'll see, you're starting to go a little bit uphill, and you're thinking, wait, I think I'm going towards Mission Viejo Lake. And then you'll see a softball field to your left, and right there, Via Linda, turn left, and you'll see it looks like a brewery, and it's like a microbrewery, and it's called High Park Tap House. And it used to be called OG's, OGGIS, but now it's High Park Tap House, and they just basically kept the same menu, but instead of things like OG sticks, which are kind of a awesome garlicky, pizza-y type appetizer with, you could put whatever you want on it. They're so good. I put pepperoni and jalapenos on there. I like my stuff spicy, and they're awesome. And now they call them High Park Tap Sticks. So it's funny because now things are tap house sticks instead of what it used to be. But they have a soft pretzel that I'm telling you guys, you have to get if you go there. It's the size of 2 large man hands. I'm not kidding. It is so big. It comes hanging from a little hook and things, like kind of like what a hangman little stand with a hook on it. It comes with nacho cheese sauce and also a grainy mustard, and it's just buttery and hot, and oh my God, it's so good. You have to go there for the soft pretzel if nothing else. It's hot. It's amazing. Best soft pretzel I've ever had. But they have phenomenal pizza. Great salads. They also have burgers if you want them, but it's a microbrewery, so you can get so many different beers. They still have a full bar. The television situation there, and I actually forgot to mention it for Antonucci's. Let me just say that real quick. They have a couple of TVs in there, but it's just it's really in the bar area. So I think they've got 4 or 5 in a round. But in High Park Tap House, what they have is they have surround TVs, very similar to what you'll see in the Players Bar, but you can see a TV from every angle. And then they have this ginormous TV right in the center. And they really like putting on Steelers on there. So big, they're an all football place, but if you tell them I'm a Steeler fan and you want to sit at this table and you want it right in front of you, they will do it. We never have had a problem, no matter where we're sitting. Seating is so comfortable in there. Whether you're tall, large, small, whatever size person you are, you will not be disappointed by that. So I always try to put that out there because people are like, well, is it very comfortable? It's comfortable. It's comfortable for me. It'll be comfortable for you. But it's very fun. So I really like that. They also have a tiny little section. It's not big, but they have this little area that has like little video games, and where your kids can put in a quarter in a slot and, buy a bunch of crap. Sorry, I had to say that. But it's basically the kids can be entertained as well. They can sit there and play a little video games and a couple things in there. And so that's kind of nice that you just give them a roll of quarters and say, when they're done, they're done. They also have patio seating that also has 2 TVs out there. So it's just a great place. Parking is great, but they also do share parking with another gym. And so you might have to street park. And I did mention that there's a softball place right outside across the street. So sometimes there's signs that say no softball parent parking. But some people don't adhere to that. They do have a parking attendant now just to make sure that you aren't there and getting out your softball gear. My daughter used to play a lot of softball games over there. So we've seen them do that, but it's a very nice place. It's just cool. It's relaxed. It's awesome. So you'll really like that place a lot. So that's High Park Tap House in Mission Viejo. And then my final place is called Classic Q. So let's say, and this isn't all football, all sport place. And Classic Q, what do you think it is? Yes, it's a pool hall. but they've made it into really a sports bar pool hall. There's so many pool tables. You can always get a pool table. And I like that the felt on the pool table is red, not green. So that's kind of cool. It's just something a little bit different. They're bar stools, high ones. And also, I think I pulled over a short chair. I don't like high bar stools. That's just a quirk I have. I like shorter chairs. And so they'll pull that over. But all the where you put your food and your drinks is all like there's bar, kind of protruding bars all around the perimeter of the wall. And so that's where they put there. And there they have patty melts, and their chicken tacos are awesome. But just really good bar food. I'm sure you've been to places that have really crappy bar food. This place is not that. But it's in Newport Beach, which actually borderline Santa Ana. It's 5 minutes from Orange County Airport, not even 5. You could actually walk there from Orange County Airport. It'd be a little bit of a 15-minute walk, but it's right. You leave Orange County Airport. It's right on MacArthur Boulevard on the right. It's right there. So right across the street from I think the Marriott at Orange County Airport. But surround TVs and great pool tables. They have dartboards as well, and just some really, really good food. And their beer pitchers are bigger ones too, and they run anywhere from, depending on what you're getting, 12 to 18. But and they have mostly beer. I think they have a full bar, but not as full as maybe if you would go to one of the other places. But pretty good bar there. But great parking, and just a really good vibe. One thing I like about Classic Q is that there isn't a lot of, even though I said Orange County Airport, for those of you that live by an airport, it's not the same at Orange County Airport. There's not as much traffic unless it's Monday morning. But other than that, it's really a kind of a non-traffic area. They made the streets so wide there. It's kind of nice just where it is. And so now this one, as far as Pittsburgh, they are Pittsburgh, but they're also Green Bay, which is just a contrast in itself. As you know, if you're a Pittsburgh fan, there's certain things about Green Bay that you just don't want to talk about. But it's definitely both. And so there's a couple of owners there. And I always, whenever I walk in, I'm like, oh, it's you. And that's the one that has the Green Bay jersey on. Luckily, he wears a throwback. I think it's Favre. It's not Aaron Rodgers. But then when the other guy's there and you see him in his Troy Polamalu jersey, you're just like, okay, now I'm home. This is better. So just know there, it's reasonable prices. You get out of there, per person, I would say, with a pitcher of beer, a couple of appetizers to eat, whatever, you're looking at $20, and that includes your pool. Going back to the Hyde Park Tap House, that's actually a really good price there. They actually are, I would say, for maybe a pretzel and a pizza and maybe some of the microbrews that they have there, 2 or 3 people, or a party of 2 or 4, you're looking at maybe, $40 to $50. So it just depends what you want. Antonucci's is going to be the highest priced one. Players, because it's in Laguna Hills and not in some of these little, I don't want to say higher rent district, but kind of, they're going to be probably your lower prices. So it just depends how much you want to spend. But these are the 4 restaurants I'm going to recommend, and just places that you can go and watch Steelers games and free parking and just not have to worry about your day. And the best thing about being in Southern California for games, football starts at 10 a.m. Did I mention 10 a.m.? And so when there is, and it's funny because when there is a London game, I actually have to set my alarm because it's on at 6 o'clock in the morning when they televise it instead of just streaming it. And so that's been pretty funny, but and I will set my alarm for that. But yeah, it starts at 10 a.m. So that's your 1 o'clock, 1:20 game on the East Coast. The second game starts at 1 here, 1 to 1:20. And so you guys are getting it at 4:30, 4:25. And then our Sunday night game, which of course we whine about here in Southern California, which is just silly. Our Sunday night game, we're just like, okay, so we have to wait until 5:15. And I know you guys, I don't know how you do it because like I said, I travel and I'll be going, let's say, to Boston, or I'll be in New York for work. And all of a sudden I'm like, but football's on. And I'm like, but it doesn't start until 8 o'clock. Are you kidding me? And that's hard. Monday Night Football is really hard when you travel because you guys are dealing with the East Coast. But us in California, we probably need to stop whining. But we've definitely are spoiled here when it comes to that. So just a little insight there. I'm excited for the season coming up. And we really just hope that Bell gets his stuff done. We're excited for everybody that's, Edmonds and some of our draft picks that we got. I'm actually really excited to see now that Joe Hayden is healthy, what he's going to bring to the team as the leader now that we don't have Mitchell, and seeing, looking at TJ Watt in the backfield as well, and just, him as up front and the backfield. But I just think we are solid. I'm very excited for this season. I think without Todd Haley and just the front office on the field with the OC and DC and all that, really kind of changing things up a bit, and Ben having a renewed sense of wanting to be there, 3 to 4 more years instead of contemplating retirement. I'm excited. I'm just really excited for the season. I think everybody's on the same page. I'm really not going to give Le'Veon Bell too much of a hard time. I really did about 2 months ago, but I'm seeing a lot of guys getting injured right now that didn't go to OTAs, which, remember, that is optional. Let's keep that in mind, guys. Optional. Say it with me. Optional. And so when it comes to signing his in July, he's going to have to make a decision, or they could rescind it, which I don't think they're going to. And then showing up, and I hope he does show up to certain things, at least show up in the middle of preseason so you can get some work in, so you're not rusty like last year. But I believe it's going to get done. So I'm confident in what's going to get done. And I'm really looking forward to the season and just what everybody has to bring. So I think what's going to be interesting is looking at our quarterback room, and I really think Dobbs and Landry are the ones that it might be on the chopping block. So I think our new draft choice is, I think he's going to be somebody that's going to be there behind Ben. I really believe that he could be, and his name is, I'm missing it right now in my head. I can see it, but I don't remember it. But I think he's going to be one of those guys that's really going to step it up. So, but as far as everybody on the field, I'm excited for our offensive line that's all coming back. Since Marquise Pouncey didn't make the top 100 list by his peers, and that's got to hurt. That's got to make him feel weird. I would think that he's going to really, try this year. I think that he's going to say, wait, what's up with that? Do they think I've lost something? So I think, I'm not saying he doesn't try every other year, but I think he's going to make his presence known. And he's one of the best centers in the game. So we really hope he does that, because I think him and Ben really are a package deal when it comes to when either of them, stay or not. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Next time, I'm going to try next week to bring in Texas. And then again, we're hoping to get your feedback so that we can get another one on here and let us know where you're from. And we'll do a couple of different states, and we'll even give a shout out maybe across the ocean, either to Australia or England. We'll do something like that. But we want to know what other states are on here. If you're in Ohio, if you are in New York, and if you're feeling that as a Steeler fan that you're not appreciated in the state you're in, because I know that the Steelers Unite and all of the different things, they're really for the Pittsburgh fan. And we want to create just a Steeler Nation fan exclusive here by letting you know that everybody in the country that's a Steeler fan has a place to go to watch Steeler games. And so we want to bring that to you as well and let you know we are here for you. And I'm in Southern California, and I'm excited to be a Steeler fan, and I'm really excited to talk to everybody today. So again, thanks again for listening in today, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. I can't wait to start out my WTF happenings again for regular season, but we're going to go with this for the next couple of few weeks until we get into preseason. And I hope everybody makes it a great day. So thanks a lot, everybody, and go out and make it a good day.
We would like to thank you for listening and remind our listeners to follow us on social media and our website, www.steelcityunderground.com.